Hey, what's going on? Today I'm going to go through all the RPGs that I have, all the ones I have physical copies of. I have quite a few digital on my PS3 and PS4, but I'm just going to go through the discs that I have. So we're going to go from my least favorite to my favorite ones. But I'm going to start with the ones that I haven't played yet because I can't really rank those. So we have Ni no Kuni 2, which I'm definitely going to play soon because I've heard it's good. Final Fantasy Type 0 and Lightning Returns. Never played those, so get those out of the way. Now we'll start with Final Fantasy 13. I did not like this game. I tried to play it. I got pretty far. I don't know what they were doing with this game. It does nothing for me. So I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to it. Probably not, but that's that. Next is Final Fantasy 15. I got right to the end of this game, but I lost interest. The combat is just so boring. Basically, hit one button. It's not a great game. They did not do a good job with this game, so that's why it's ranked there. And next, Final Fantasy VIII. Now I definitely beat this game. I've played it a couple times. I think the problem with this game is the story and the characters. The story's just not interesting. The enemies, the bad guy in this game, you think it's somebody, then someone else, then someone else. It's just not that interesting. I mean, there is some good stuff in this game, but it's the PS1 Final Fantasy is definitely the worst. All right, next. Persona 5. Now, I've just started playing this recently, got a little ways into it. I like it. It's a really good game. I played a lot of Persona 4. That was a pretty good game. But if you've played any Persona game, then you know what you're getting with these. But pretty good. Next we've got Disgaea. I've got the PSP version. This is basically the first one. It's a strategy RPG. You can do a lot of stuff in this game. If you like strategy RPGs, you like Final Fantasy Tactics kind of thing, then this is like that, but on crack basically. There's so much you can do in this. So, really good game. Also was on PS2. Alright, next we got Dragon Quest VIII. Did not beat this yet. Actually, I'm very far into it. It's really cool graphics. Pretty good story actually. I think the combat's a little old school. It's kind of hard at times too, but definitely a good game. I think a lot of people like this game, so there's that. Next we've got Crisis Core. It's the Final Fantasy VII prequel. Now I'm really into Final Fantasy VII, and I know a lot of people don't really love this game, but I mean, I did everything in this game. I played it, I don't know, 80 hours probably. Got everything, did everything. I thought it was really good. So it's only on PSP too. Next we have Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, which is they just released a HD version of this on PS4 and Switch. I have not beaten this yet. I'm really far into it. It's a very hard game. They don't really give you a lot of direction on what to do, and if you like difficult RPGs, then this is the one for you. But it's also a really good story, really good combat, quality game, but be prepared. Alright, next. Now I just have the disc, but this is Vandal Horse 2 on PS1. It's a strategy RPG. It's really, really good. If you like strategy RPGs at all, check this one out. And then we got Final Fantasy Tactics, which I'm sure everyone knows about. I got the PSP version here, which is really good. I think the loading times are a little better on here, and there's some other improvements, but that's that. Next, I'm not sure if this counts, but it's it's an action RPG. I would say it's Legacy of Kain. You might have seen Soul Reaver, the sequel to this, which was a different kind of game. I mean, this is pretty much like Zelda with vampires. It's definitely worth playing if you've never played it. Really hard, really hardcore, great story. Check that out. Alright, next I've got Final Fantasy IV. I've got the Game Boy Advance version, which is a very good version of this game. I think this was Final Fantasy II on SNES. I think that's what it was called, but yeah, this is a really good version of the game. And one of the best Final Fantasy games, definitely. Now I'll go with Final Fantasy XII, which I've got the original here and the PS4 remaster. If you've never played it, I recommend the PS4 version. It looks way better, and it has some good features that make a lot of parts of the game easier to get through. But I think this one's overlooked. It was one of the last PS2 games, came out right at the end. I don't know if as many people played this as the other ones, but the story's awesome. Characters are really good. I love the combat in this. It feels more real time, but it's not. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's different than every other game, but really good game. So check that out. And we'll go Final Fantasy IX, just kind of a throwback to the older Final Fantasies. Really cool story, cool characters, a lot of stuff to do in this game. I mean, you could play this 100 hours easily. So there's that. And next, I'm going to go with Final Fantasy X, which I also have the HD remaster of, which is definitely the version to play. Yeah, the first time I played this, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but after playing through a couple more times, it's just a really good game. I like the combat. You can switch any of your characters in anytime, which really adds something to it. It's pretty easy. There's some optional stuff that's harder, but it's actually a good option for a first RPG to play if you've never played one. So there's that. Now we're gonna go to this is Final Fantasy Anthology, which is Final Fantasy V and VI. Really, I would have 6 in this spot. 5 is also an awesome game, so we'll put them both here. They were Super Nintendo games. 5 never got a US release. until here, and then there's, I think there's a Game Boy Advance version, but they're definitely worth playing. 6 probably has the best story in any Final Fantasy game, and 5 has an awesome combat and leveling up system. So you check them out. I don't know if you want to play this version because the loading times are pretty rough. You know, playing a Super Nintendo emulator might be the best way to do it, but there's that. Alright, we're down to 2. My number 2 RPG is Xenogears, which is, it's hard to explain this game. I mean, it's an epic story. I think it's on 2 discs. I think my original playthrough was 70 some hours. Yeah, it's just an awesome game. You never played this, you gotta play it. There's that. And yeah, probably a lot of people's favorite, and mine too, is Final Fantasy VII. Probably not the greatest Final Fantasy story. I think 6 is better, but I think it's just a combination of when I played this, and you know, it's the first one on PS1, so it looked better than the Super Nintendo versions, and not much to say that everyone else hasn't said, but I've also played the remake, which is awesome. So that's my number 1 RPG. I've played through this game, I don't even know how many times, maybe 7, 8, 9 times. I'm playing through it again now. Never gets old. But so that is all my RPGs that I have right now. That's it for the video today. I'll see you next time.